If you want to have the perfect start possible in the latest DLC, you are in the right place. As your fellow player with more than 1,000 hours of experience and who wasted a lot of hours making mistakes, I will be giving 28 essential tips that you can't afford to miss. And all of the tips that I will be covering in this guide can save you from the common traps and guesswork, saving you hundreds of hours of potential wasted time, so you can break the DLC in the quickest time possible. Like for example, knowing how to unlock the latest DLC. I've been receiving a lot of questions about this matter, and the simple answer to this is to beat and clear the entire main story arc of the base game. This is technically completing the Tales of Bahamut's Rage quest, and the system will then lead you to Satbus member. And these NPCs will require you to complete your first stages of Conflux, which is one of the new features in the game that I will dive into later on. Completing the first stage of Conflux will finally lead you to even more quests and unlock the Fate Breaker rank, where all of the DLC quests will revolve. General difficulty progression will now involve chaos difficulty missions up to the most difficult ones, which are the plus versions. Don't expect that you will be streamlining these missions even if you have a perfect character build made from the base game, as these missions are the hardest by far and proper preparations are required. We need more crewmate cards to unlock 4 of the new characters, so be on the lookout of the newly added side quests in the game. These side quests provide crewmate cards, so clear them as fast as you can. Another easy source of crewmate cards is some of the previously completed story missions in the base game, and you can easily revisit them in the chapter select menu. If you are a seasoned player like me and have hundreds upon hundreds of sigils to cycle through, you might want to abuse the new sigil search feature. And I cannot stress how this can save any player dozens of wasted hours just drooling over these sigils. You can do this by pressing the face button or the option button on your controller and accessing the sort and filter system. Then you can select which sigil trait combination you are looking for. Conflux is one of the latest features in the game that looks intimidating and complicated at first glance, but trust me, it is actually simple. Conflux is a roguelike feature where players are required to progress in randomized stages with random enemies and bosses. As the cycles go deeper, the harder the targets you can find. It also gives you better rewards in general as expected. Difficulty progression is presented horizontally as cycles, so the higher the cycle, the harder the stages it offers. Beating a level in a cycle will give you the chance to keep an aura or the randomly generated buff temporarily that is exclusive to that specific run. And this is the reason why you don't really need to stress yourself about which buffs are good, which augments are not, or what are the best builds to go for. And to make it simple, focusing on damage boosting buffs is the key in here, allowing you to complete your runs faster. Beating a whole cycle will give you the chance to get a set of rewards, ranging from raw weapon materials, uncapping weapon materials, and also sigil upgrade materials like the Tears of Apocalypse. Progressing in Conflux will allow you to choose different types of challenges, like fighting a single elite enemy or multiple hordes of enemies. But when you reach the Fortune Portal, it is your best interest to always choose it. Fortune Portals or stages will allow you to get even more rewards through chests. But the main attraction here is the gacha wheel. This will give you the chance to get even more auras to strengthen your runs even further. Very useful in higher cycles or much difficult areas. Resonance, on the other hand, is a completely different progression tree that you should be paying attention to. Unlike the randomly generated buff or auras that you get inside each cycle, Resonance is a permanent stat growth for all of your characters while inside Conflux. You earn Resonance points by completing runs in Conflux, and it is in your best interest to get as many upgrades as you can. Well, there is no doubt that Conflux can give you good rewards in bulk for your general character progression needs, but it is not necessarily that you just focus on this feature when aiming for specific items. Running missions directly in the quest counter will give you much faster rewards in most cases because it is targeted and very well filtered. And not to mention, you do have an option to set your runs on auto and repeat multiple cycles. Conflux, on the other hand, rewards are given in bulk as mentioned. This will give you the chance to farm other materials that you will possibly need for other characters that you want to raise later on. Take it as another refreshing way of getting new materials. But Samurai, if that is the case, I should just stick to quest counter missions to get materials. Yes, it will give you faster access to targeted raw materials, but you can't really ignore Conflux altogether, since completing higher cycles will let you transcend your ascension weapons. More on Transcendence later, but it is still in your best interest to progress the cycle as much as you can. And if you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me more than you can imagine. Join our Discord server and team up with other players and help us build our community. Combat receives major improvements like the new SBA toggle. You can now directly command your AI companion to hold their SBAs or freely use them by just pressing the down direction button. Sounds boring, I know, but trust me, this subtle change will add so much value in your repertoire, especially when dealing with hectic fights, allowing you to switch SBA strategy on a pinch rather than opening the radial menu to do the same thing over and over. You will be dying a lot in this game, especially if you are finally tackling the Chaos++ difficulty, but you can now recover from critical conditions by just holding any button, rather than spamming every button with anger in the past. Guarding remains one of the easiest way to skip fight mechanics, just like in the base game. But the main difference now is that guarding will not just save your life, but also won't cut your combos anymore, just like how dodging works. Attack damage boosting buffs and debuffing skills receive a major overhaul in the DLC and can now be considered as meta. I don't want to bombard you with numbers or complicated calculations, but essentially, the overall damage buff received by a character is no longer being capped by the damage cap calculation. And this means that damage boosting skills from characters like Cagliostro or Percival can give so much value now. So you should highly consider getting these characters, but more on AI companions later on. Debuffs, on the other hand, can now be stacked multiple times on a single target. This allows you to ramp your damage pretty fast, especially your whole party's damage will significantly ramp up and destroy targets because of the debuffs. In the latest DLC, Primals will deal an extra attack finisher when the party pulls off a full chain burst. And this extra attack is not only pleasing to the eye, but also a good way to score bonus damage. You can't spam this new trick at the start of combat, since the Primal Burst will only be ready if the party managed to score a link time burst. And just in case you are wondering why you can do Primal Burst, this feature is only available in Chaos difficulty missions or above. And the same thing applies to the new summoning feature. Character progression is where the new DLC shines, as it is packed with exciting things for you to take advantage of. But just like in the base game, it is highly advisable to just focus on your main character first when it comes to upgrades. In this way, you can ensure that every little bit of upgrades is spent wisely, since you do have 100% control of your main character, rather than spreading your resources to your other party members later on, especially if you play solely in multiplayer sessions. You will be surprised how many resources a character needs to reach their best potential in the game now, especially when it comes to mastery points and weapon upgrade materials. While I am not saying to completely ignore your AI companions, in fact, I am one of the creators who greatly pay attention to this matter. If your main character is already in good shape, it is highly suggested to raise your other 3 characters one at a time. Just like in the base game, AI companions will give you so much value and let you have the whole experience of what this game can offer. So it is not really advisable to ignore them and focus on just one character altogether. There are a lot of great choices when selecting your 3 AI companions, especially in the DLC. The meta greatly shifted, and most of the AI companions' behavior was changed as well. Some are noticeably underperforming, and some greatly shine, blowing the competition out of the water. Of course, the absolute best AI in the game will be covered in a separate video very soon, since this work requires a lot of time and rigorous testing, especially since we do have 6 brand new characters to work on. But for now, you can never go wrong with Siegfried, Zeta, and Twayen, especially Eugen. Eugen and Siegfried are noticeably performing very well in my initial test. While Zeta is underperforming a little bit, it is too early for me to judge this, and Twayen remains a good AI overall. Attack damage boosting buffs are broken now, so you might want to consider Cagliostro. One of the greatest addition in our auto-farming setup is no doubt the character Eustace, one of the DLC characters that can be set as the main character or even the AI companion during your auto-farming runs. His overall damage is affected by the overall distance from his target, so his AI behavior tends to close in on enemies. Not to mention that this guy has an insane range when it comes to his bread and butter skills, which also hit like an absolute freight train. So you will be expecting solid performance from this guy across the board. Speaking of auto-farming, not only your AI companions will help you clear fights in active battles, but they can also give you massive value when it comes to auto-farming. Auto-farming can obviously help you farm raw materials or grind for currency, especially if you can't actively play the game. The DLC made auto-farming a fully fleshed out feature, allowing you to auto-farm even in the hardest difficulty. Full Assist mode allows your main character to also dodge enemy attacks perfectly with close to 100% accuracy, just like your staple AI companions. It is now suggested to fully build your main auto farmer as a full DPS character and end missions much faster. Although your main character can move on its own still, which is a bummer I know, but there's a workaround on this. Slot in the Provoke trait or Sigil on your main character and then low profile on your other party members. This will ensure that the boss will constantly engage with your main character, giving you 100% uptime for all members. To access full auto settings, head to your main menu, then System, then Game Options, then the Gameplay tab. Here, you can set Assist mode to Full Assist mode. Loading screen skip setting should be changed to Always Skip, and the quest cutscene auto skip setting should be changed to Always Skip. This will obviously allow you to cycle quickly on each run without any cutscenes involved. While keep in mind that the retry limit is still limited to 10 chances before the menu asks if you want to continue. In addition to this, the system will now auto-loot all of the treasure chest rewards when set on auto-repeat, making your runs even better. We already have an idea of which main characters and AI companions to choose from, but racing them is completely a different story. Slimepede is still the fastest spot when it comes to leveling your characters to level 100 with the combined XP from raw gains and spellbooks. And if you can remember, this is only a Maniac difficulty quest, so reaching level 100 for new characters will never be an issue. Slimepede can give you a decent amount of mastery points to start with, but nothing really beats the Sumo King Pincer method in the early Chaos difficulty. Whether you are farming actively or in auto, the Jumbo Crab's title fight will do absolute wonders to your character progression. This fight is not being gauged through strength, since the goal here is to push the crab to the edge of the arena to damage the enemy. Do this 4 times and the mission will be cleared. My unoptimized auto farming setup can 100% clear each run in around 4 minutes to 5 minutes and gives a whopping 10k mastery points per run. This gives me an average of 140k mastery points per hour. But it doesn't stop there. This mission will also give you a lot of excess summoning crystals that you can recycle for even more mastery points. And this is not the best mastery point spot in the game currently. The Chaos ++ difficulty offers a potential better spot, but it will take a while for you to get there. But hey Samurai, I already have 500k worth of mastery points, why would I need more? Oh my dear viewer, 500k is such a puny amount, especially if you want to max out the newly introduced master traits. The Master Traits feature will be unlocked when a character reaches level 100, and it is in your best interest to max your Master Traits as high as you can. And I am telling you, one character can run your resources dry, even if you have hundreds of thousands of mastery points. Each character has 3 styles, or the 3 crystals that you are seeing in here, and each style offers different exclusive traits or bonuses within it. The traits within a style will add more raw stats to your character. The more traits you equip, the stronger the character gets. But you notice here that there's a cap for the number of traits you can equip. And notice here as well that the higher I level up the mastery trait, the trait cap increases as well. Having a level 10 master trait will allow me to slot in a total of 10 traits, giving Narmaya a huge stat boost. Having additional traits that you get from each crystal or master style is already broken enough, but style rank perks can even give you more significant upgrades. You can see here that each master style has different style perks, classified in different ranks. In this example, my character can activate style rank perks up to rank 2. A rank 1 style perk will only require 3 activated traits for the perk to take effect. So for this example, I activated 3 rank 1 traits to activate the style perk. And you will know if the style is already active if the diamond icon below the master style is lit up, or the style rank perk in the main menu is already active and lit up. It is expected that rank 2 perks or higher are better in general. The higher the style rank perk, the more active traits it requires, like the one you are seeing that requires 6 rank 2 traits just to activate the style rank 2 perk. You can totally see how deep this system goes, and how it can alter a character playstyle by a ton. Master traits alone requires a standalone video, but for now, these are the things that you need to learn firsthand. If you are still confused about which master traits to unlock first, unlocking general damage cap and raw attack stats is a great idea. On top of that, you will be getting additional raw stats by just leveling the master traits alone, and level 50 is the maximum level as you can see in here. Always keep in mind that if you can't level up your master traits, you need to advance the chaos difficulty further to unlock more levels. The Mighty War Elemental Plus, Supplementary Damage 5 Plus, Berserker Echo Sigils, and Legendary Rightstones drop like candies from level 3 transmutations and transmarvels in the latest update. In case you are not aware, all of these sigils requires hundreds of hours worth of farming in the past, which explains my more than 1,000 hours of playtime. But now you can get all of the core sigils in minutes, so there's no reason for you to not have an optimized setup across all of your characters. And the core build of characters remains relatively the same, despite all of the newly introduced sigils in the game. A level 65 damage cap is still suggested, a level 45 supplementary damage 5 plus, following up with level 15 Berserker Echo, and of course level 15 War Elemental. And the rest of the slots are highly dependent on the character. Focusing on the core traits that I just mentioned will do just fine. I will be making proper character builds very soon, so stay tuned for that. In Granblue Fantasy Relink, everything revolves around damage caps. And honestly, this is one of the things that I wish I had known way sooner. So I want to focus on it and save you hours of headache. Essentially, if you don't have the level 65 damage cap trait, your damage will be trash if you are hitting a very low damage cap ceiling. Even if you have the best master traits, the best transcended weapons, or even the best skill rotations in the world, all of those are pretty useless with a trash damage cap ceiling or trait. Take this chart for example. This is an example of a bad build without a damage cap. This is so bad that it focuses on raw attack stat without raising the actual cap. But if you add damage cap sigils or trait to your build, notice that the whole damage cap was increased. You already have enough room to slot more offensive sigils and see how your damage skyrocketed. To master this feature, Endless Ragnarok added a very sleek feature to monitor your damage cap. In the practice setting of the training dummy, you can toggle the setting to damage cap percentage instead of the normal damage. You can totally see here that the damage was set to a percentage. Keep in mind that the normal damage cap is set to 100%. So if you are hitting the damage cap of 100%, this is a clear indication that you are hitting the damage cap ceiling of your current build. So it is time to add more damage cap trait to it. Here's an example of a character with a fully built setup. And you can totally see how this new setting can show you how your damage cap can even reach 800%. And the maximum cap is pretty much questionable for now. Another way of helping you gain raw stats and possibly increase your damage caps is the newly added Summon Crystals. Although I don't really use them in combat, what I want you to focus on is the additional trait that every Summoning Crystal provides. Just take this Carmeleon Summoning Crystal for example. It adds level 10 injury to insult trait and 20% normal attack damage cap up. Not to mention that you can equip up to 4 Summoning Crystals, giving you flexibility when it comes to character building. But the crazy thing in here is that the accumulated traits will be added to all of your characters, even the ones sitting on the bench. You will be getting Summoning Crystals from completing quests. And as mentioned previously, you can recycle the not so good ones for mastery points. Weapon progression in Endless Ragnarok received a major overhaul, and this is where the significant chunk of your damage output will come from. With the newly added Transcendence weapon upgrade system, one of the biggest questions for a returning and beginner player alike is should they create Terminus weapons in the current meta? The short answer to this is definitely a big yes. Terminus weapons can still outclass all of the weapons in the DLC in the late game progression. I mentioned late game, right? Meaning your Terminus weapons will be stuck at their max upgrade from the base game for a while. The Tale of Bahamut Rage Quest will not only give you the chance to get a Terminus weapon in every single clear, but also allows you to accumulate Ultimate Memories. Ultimate Memories are your main currency now to craft Terminus weapons directly in your local smith. You will be using your Terminus weapons to perform in the Chaos difficulty and farm the initial materials for your Transcended weapons. Fully upgraded Transcended weapons are 10 times better compared to your max Terminus weapons. Transcended weapons are your character's regular weapons just in case you haven't noticed, and each Transcend upgrade will unlock more mastery nodes for that certain weapon. And these new sets of mastery nodes are seriously powerful, so you will eventually transcend all of them. Transcended weapons have another trick up their sleeve, and it is by having more traits available at max upgrade. Not to mention that these traits are swappable, allowing you to be flexible when it comes to character building. For you to have a clearer visual of the general weapon progression in Endless Ragnarok, here's a simple chart that I made. You will be maxing all of your weapons to level 150, including your Ascension weapons. Craft and max your Terminus weapons, and use your Terminus weapons to hunt materials in Chaos difficulty and transcend at least one weapon. Then you will transcend your Ascension weapon again, and eventually, the Terminus weapon's final unlock will be accessible in the late game. Each transcended weapon has its own set of exclusive traits, like the new damage cap trait across the board. I mentioned that you will be maxing them all eventually, right? But you might find it confusing which one to max first and use as your main weapon. You can never go wrong with defender type weapons, as defender type weapons will give you insane survivability in combat. This allows your character to reach 200k HP or more, which is pretty useful in Chaos++ difficulty by not getting one shot. The damage cap Ekru will also give you a flat 50% attack and 260% damage cap increase at 200k HP, which is relatively easy to reach in the latest version of the game. Another type is Stinger type weapons, which I personally use as my first transcended weapons, giving you traits such as level 30 plus critical rate and level 20 plus critical damage, perfect for your AI companions as well. The damage cap combo trait that this weapon provide can give you 40% raw attack and 220% damage cap increase by just having 100% critical rate. There are a handful of interesting sigils added in the DLC, and you will be getting these new toys by clearing Chaos difficulty missions or from level 3 transmutations and transmarvels. And Fate Breaker Sigil is one of the non-negotiable for your builds. Fate Breaker will add a flat 50% attack increase, 5% defense, 50% damage cap increase when participating in Fate Breaker quests or any Chaos difficulty missions. Your main character and 3 of your AI companions should have a level 15 Fate Breaker trait at all times. Celestial Lumen is yet another interesting new sigil that gives your build 20% raw attack stat and 70% damage cap increase when the user's HP is above 75%. Consider this in your companion since they're barely getting hit anyway. Celestial Terra Sigil, on the other hand, will require you to sacrifice 30% of the character's HP for an additional of 70% damage cap increase. The 30% HP drawback this sigil requires is rather minimal, since if you can remember, it is easy to have hundreds of thousands of HP in the current meta. Celestial Ventus will give a 10% straight damage multiplier to your build, in exchange of not receiving heals from other sources. This drawback is not really a big deal since your potions are more than enough to push you in fights, and healers in this game are really not mandatory. All of these tips are more than enough to get you up to speed in the latest DLC. But what if you just started playing Relink and are looking for the best beginner tips? Click on this video since it is a separate beginner guide covering the base game. And with that, I'm the Samurai. Thank you for watching and I will catch you on the next one.